we go. Hello, Dot Sisters. It is me, Paige Engel here, your marketing director for Polka Dot Powerhouse Worldwide, and I am with Shari Wagner, excited to bring you another installment of Meeting Our Speakers that are going to be highlighted at Celebration 2020. Welcome, Shari. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you so much, Paige. It's so good to see you and talk to you. And I'm so happy to be here too. And I'm so happy that I'm going to be speaking at Celebration.
Yay! So tell us a little bit about your Dot story. What chapter are you in and how long have you been a Dot?
So I'm in the Denver, Colorado chapter, and I am going on 4 years. It will be 4 years in August. So yeah, I found out about Dots, like it was through somebody who wasn't even a member, which I find kind of funny in a way. She wasn't a member, but somebody that she worked for was a member. And I don't know, we met through a different networking group and just somehow got to talking about networking, and I was not having a great experience in the group that I was in. And, you know, was kind of feeling a little over the networking thing. And she said, you know, I think this group might really resonate with you. I hear a lot about it, and, you know, maybe you should check it out. And it sounded familiar. I'm not sure, you know, I must have seen other people that I knew from the networking circles. I must have seen them talking about it. And it was just one of those subconscious things. And so, you know, it sounded familiar. And I thought, okay, what the heck? I'll go check out a meeting. And I joined on the spot.
I love that. And I am so happy because that's around the time when I joined as well. And I'm so happy that I get a chance to see you like pretty much every year at Celebration. So tell us, how many times have you been to Celebration, and what is the one thing that keeps you coming back?
So I have been twice so far. My first year in Dots, I didn't really understand enough about it and why would I want to go to this. So then as I got more involved, and I was still pretty new, so like as I got more involved and was really like learning more about the Dot way, if you will, I then, you know, like jumped in on it. And it was here in Denver that first year that I went, so it was easy to do that. And it was just like I was kind of blown away by it. I didn't know, I don't know, I didn't go in with any expectations whatsoever. And I met some really amazing women at that for Celebration, and, you know, made some amazing connections, and some of the speakers just kind of like blew my socks off. And yeah, so that's why, you know, I've sort of jumped on it again. And I unfortunately wasn't able to go this past year in Boston. Mm-hmm. But, you know, just life things got in the way. And, but I felt like some severe FOMO when I saw everybody posting from there. I'm like, oh, I'm missing it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's always hard when you're not there and you see, because, you know, if you've been to Celebration, you know what it's like to be in that environment, to feel the energy and the positivity and all the great speakers and, you know, the content that we have there. And we're so excited because this year you get to be a part of that content. So can you maybe tell us, I know that you are in the fitness, you know, world, and you have been doing fitness for a very long time. Or at least, can you just share a little bit about with us your story with how you came to be a part of this fitness world and what it did for you?
Sure. So yeah, I've been a part of the fitness world for 11 years as a trainer, 13 as a practitioner, or not practitioner, but a doer. And really, I had no background in fitness prior to getting into it as a way of life. I was essentially living a sedentary life. I was really more like on again, off again with the gym. I was always bored with the gym. I would get injured often. I always felt like anytime that I worked with a trainer, I always felt like I wanted to know how to do things right. So there was something in me there already. that I didn't know was there really. But, you know, I was always very concerned with how to do things right. And I would get frustrated when trainers wouldn't show me how to do things properly. And, you know, I don't know, it was more boredom than anything. And then I stumbled across kettlebells in a really bizarre roundabout kind of way, through a just strange conversation with a neighbor. And I looked into it. At the time I was having some knee problems, and I was being told that I had to really strengthen my butt and my quads. And as I'm reading about kettlebells, I'm hearing butt and quads. And I was like, I think I need to check this out. So, so I went for a private session, and honestly, I wasn't like a lot of the kettlebell people. A lot of the kettlebell people, like, first lesson, they're sold. They knew
Right.
that that's what they wanted to do. And for me, that I wasn't that way. I was like, this is interesting. I'll keep up with it for a little bit and just see how it goes. Like, I was very non-committal. And then just over time, I just kept going back. And then before I knew it, I was going to group classes so that I could go more often. And within a really short amount of time, I was really starting to get strong and really see the difference. You know, I went in with kind of the mindset, yes, I had a little bit of, you know, oh, I think I need this to help my knees, but really I was sort of motivated by the aesthetic that I could obtain. And I remember going in talking about, like, I want to strengthen my knees, but oh, by the way, I want arms like Linda Hamilton from T2. And that was like my whole motivation. And I really kind of quickly learned that strength is, like, I don't know, it's so much more. And my focus from really trying to obtain that aesthetic really shifted kind of quickly. And before I knew it, it was all about, like, seeing someone that was in class lifting a certain amount of weight going, I wonder if I can do that. Maybe I can do that. I'm going to try that. Oh my God, I did it. And, you know, just really becoming, like, a lot more adventurous, trusting my body more, kind of getting acquainted with my body in a lot of ways too. And I mean, just so many changes, and like really seeing how being strong was changing other things in my life. So, you know, it was changing. Yes, I was not having knee pain anymore, and I wasn't having back pain anymore. And lots of things in my life were improving in those ways, but also in, like, functional daily living kinds of ways. The first thing that I really remember of when I noticed, like, hey, I'm strong and this is useful, was I went to clean out my basement, and we had all these big boxes of books, and I just lifted them off the shelf and I moved them and I put them back on the shelf, and I did it, like, without even really thinking. And I never used to be able to lift those boxes of books. So I became really, like, a lot more self-sufficient in life, and it really affected my confidence level. It was affecting my posture. It was really affecting just so many different areas of my life. And that's what made me want to get into it.
You know, I love that, because I know you've mentioned before that your body was transformed. And by focusing on strength, I mean, you really help people for the long term. I mean, strength is something that you can take throughout your entire life. And I know that you have a studio, and now since this whole situation that we're in, you've kind of been transitioning, or you have transitioned to online classes. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. I do have a studio here in Denver. I'm actually here now at my studio. I was looking for some quiet, and of course there's a guy, like, blowing leaves outside my door right now. But anyway, yes, I shifted to doing everything online. I had an online personal training program for the last couple of years, and online training has not been, like, very well known or necessarily, like, very well received. Like, a lot of people didn't understand what it was and why they needed it until all of a sudden they couldn't go to the gym anymore. And now everyone's like, oh, you can teach online, or, you know, asking, do you do online training? And so now it's really, like, a thing. And so, yes, I had to close my gym to the public and shift everything to online. So in addition to the program that I used to have, I also started offering group classes online. So they're just live on Zoom. And people seem to really like the live on Zoom thing. You know, there's like Zoom fatigue that's like a thing now.
Yes.
And
Oh yeah.
yeah. But people, when it comes to fitness, like the Zoom because they still have that motivation of like seeing all of the other people and being there with me and getting that live instruction. And so it doesn't have quite the same level of Zoom fatigue or it just can refresh you in another way because exercise does that anyway. But, you know, feeling that camaraderie that comes with a group class that so many people like, especially women, I think, tend to like that feeling. And, you know, I've heard it time and time again from the people that I train that I love being able to still see everybody and feel like I'm like there with you, even though I'm not there with you. But I love not having to go anywhere.
That's right. I love that you were able to, I mean, you were already doing it, but I love that you were able to take it to a whole nother level. So as we wrap up here today, and, you know you're awesome. I know your arms are awesome. What can we tell our Dot sisters? What would be your word of advice if someone is on the fence about coming to Celebration? What would be your word of advice for them?
Well, you know, since I'm a fitness person, I got to just quote Nike and say, just do it.
Do it. That's right. Thank you. Just do it. Thank you so much, Shari. You know, we love you. Mwah. And we can't wait to see you at Celebration 2020.
I can't wait to see you there too.